Yes, queen. Yes, queen. Yes, queen. Yes, queen. Yes.
Coronavirus is not an excuse for racism. Nothing is.
Discrimination can be disguised as jokes or political opinion. Don't let that happen. Be open and listen to people who have experienced racism. This can build understanding and support. It's vital to speak out when it feels safe. Call it out. Mind your language. Words can obscure people's humanity and fuel stereotypes. Say what you're for. We're for a world where we can live freely and without fear. It's up to us to make that happen.
Here I was, sitting in Los Angeles in my beautiful office of my own late-night talk show. Soon I would be driving my hybrid car to my beautiful fucking home to kiss my two beautiful and healthy children and my husband who had taken the year off to parent so I could focus on my career. And I have all of this, all of it, because I was allowed bodily autonomy at 15. I will not be shamed into being quiet. We will not be shamed into being quiet. Never again. I will never stop talking about my abortion or my periods or my experiences in childbirth, my episiotomies, my yeast infections, or my ovulation that lines up with the moon.
You know, since the beginning of the COVID-19 outbreak, we have seen not only the spreading of the virus, but also a rapid spreading of racism and xenophobia. We have witnessed at the highest levels, in fact, of the Republican Party fanning irresponsibly these flames. One colleague tweeted that everything you need to know about the Chinese coronavirus, unquote. My district is home to nearly 32% foreign-born residents, with more than a quarter immigrating from Asia. This painful rhetoric has consequences. Restaurants across Boston's Chinatown have seen up to an 80% drop in business. And I believe this has everything to do with the rapid spread of misinformation and paranoia. It is critical that we stand against these insightful messages and assuage fear in our communities. And we do that by dispelling untruths and misinformation. We can only do that by sharing the facts. And that.
Oh, wait, here, can I hold this? Can I interview you?
No, you can't.
Why not?
Because it's my property. It's my property. Okay, so here we go. Here we go, guys.
Yeah, here we go. This is
not
what you
respecting
expected.
other people's property. So you're celebrating abortion.
Fuck yes, I'm celebrating abortion. I had one a month ago, and it was fucking great.
Oh my God,
yeah, thank you. I haven't told a lot of people.
Also, can I have a hug?
Yes.
How have you been? Good. So good to see you.
Are we still interviewing?
No, I'm just showing people what you guys are out here doing.
Right, I'm sure you are, and then you're going to be like, look at these evil abortion people on your stupid fucking website.
I don't need to say any of that.
All right, well, thank you.
You guys are just showing people how you are.
Is one less person that Alex Jones can sell supplements to, and I think that's your real point.
Look at her. Take a look at her earrings here. She's got crocodiles eating babies. Like, really? I mean, you think that's classy? The crocodile eating the baby?
They're adorable.
You think it's adorable?
I think they're adorable.
I mean, did you make
They're
those?
not babies. They're fetuses.
Wait, are you triggered?
Did you make those?
I want the video to go trigger.
You can look on Pinterest maybe, and you can maybe find them there.
That'd be cute.
So you bought them on Pinterest.
Did I
So
buy
are those babies or fetuses?
So the only place you exist online is InfoWars. You just proved it. Like, Pinterest doesn't
These
work.
girls are obsessed with InfoWars, and you're also obsessed with supplements. I think you guys should actually try them. They might do good for you.
Oh.
Yeah.
Is there an MLM?
Do you take supplements?
Can I join your downline?
Do you take supplements?
Is an abortion pill considered a supplement?
Okay. So they don't take supplements, guys. I take
supplemented
supplements.
me not having a
They don't.
baby.
I take supplements. They don't. They take abortion pills.
You know what's at stake? Over the last 3 years, women's reproductive rights have come under attack in a way we haven't seen in modern history. From Louisiana to Missouri to Texas, Republican legislatures are waging a war on women, all women. And they're taking away fundamental rights. I want to tell you, Gorsuch, I want to tell you, Kavanaugh, you have released the whirlwind, and you will pay the price. You won't know what hit you if you go forward with these awful decisions. The bottom line is very simple. We will stand with the American people. We will stand with American women. We will tell President Trump and Senate Republicans who have stacked the court with right-wing ideologues that you're going to be gone in November and you will never be able to do what you're trying to do now, ever again.
Actually, this intelligence briefing for the president-elect was always planned for Friday. It hasn't been delayed. But he's taking these shots, this antagonism, this taunting to the intelligence community.
You take on the intelligence community, they have 6 ways from Sunday at getting back at you. So even for a practical, supposedly hard-nosed businessman, he's being really...
I think as time goes forward, hopefully doctors and scientists will get a better handle on the whole situation. Fortunately, from what I understand, you know, it is contagious, but the death rate is pretty low. So, yeah, I understand the fear.
Yeah, well, we can see you still have a cough. What do the doctors say about your own condition moving forward as we wrap this up?
Excuse me. Let me get some of that. They said, yeah, I'm fine. I got tested twice, negative both times. The cough, probably just nerves.
Yeah, being on TV.
If there's one thing that I would like everybody here today to know, is that refugees are not numbers. They're not a problem that needs solving. They are a treasure, not a burden.
I really don't know what's going on.
If there's one thing that I would like everybody here today to know, is that refugees are not numbers. They're not a problem that needs solving. They are a treasure, not a burden.
Hey, Twitter world, yours truly. Well, I'm at my local market today because I was watching a show today, and, you know, everything is coronavirus, and they were talking about what items had gone up the most, had sold the most. You know, things like Clorox and wipes and TP. But the item that they say have gone up in sales the most was something called oat milk. Something I had never heard of. I mean, I've never heard of this stuff. But evidently it has a long shelf life. You don't have to refrigerate it until you open it. Then it has a 5 to 7 day life like regular milk. So I decided I better get it. They say it's great for protein drinks. I have protein drink every morning. In any event, I saw an interesting reaction from a couple of my buddies yesterday. One is in the medical business, and he's been real concerned. But I've never seen this guy get pissed off until yesterday, when he found out that the Las Vegas Golden Knights had postponed their games, and he went through the roof. You know, now don't get me wrong, he knows it's the right thing to do, but that really pissed him off. And I kind of dogged him about it, saying, man, you don't get mad until they cancel a sporting event? That was until this morning when I saw they postponed the Masters golf tournament. I gotta admit, I was pissed off. You know, it seems like in times like this, we need those distractions. But I'm a father. I have 4 kids, so I know it's the right thing to do. I'm just glad that football is 5-6 months away. Hopefully this thing will be under control by then. I'm just saying, take care and stay healthy.
Let me start with my headline tonight. I'm retiring. This is the last Hardball on MSNBC, and obviously this isn't for lack of interest in politics. As you can tell, I've loved every minute of my 20 years as host of Hardball. Every morning I read the papers, and I'm gung-ho to get to work. Not many people have had this privilege. I love working with my producers and the discussions we have over how to report the news. And I love having this connection with you, the good people who watch. I've learned who you are, bumping into you on the sidewalk or waiting at an airport and saying hello. You're like me. I hear it from your kids and grandchildren who say, my dad loves you, or my grandmother loves you, or my husband watched it till the end. Well, after a conversation with MSNBC, I decided tonight will be my last Hardball, so let me tell you why. The younger generations out there are ready to take the reins. We see them in politics, in the media, in fighting for their causes. They are improving the workplace. We're talking here about better standards than we grew up with, fair standards. A lot of it has to do with how we talk to each other. Compliments on a woman's appearance that some men, including me, might have once incorrectly thought were okay. We're never okay. Not then and certainly not today. And for making such comments in the past, I'm sorry. I'm very proud of the work I've done here. Long before I went on television, I worked for years in politics, was a newspaper columnist, an author. I'm working on another book. I'll continue to write and talk about politics and cheer on my producers and crew here in Washington and New York and my MSNBC colleagues. They will continue to produce great journalism in the years ahead. And for those of you who have gotten into the habit of watching Hardball every night, I hope you're going to miss me because I'm going to miss you. But remembering Humphrey Bogart and Casablanca, we'll always have Hardball. So let's not say goodbye, but till we meet again.
The white British population has decreased by 600,000, while the minority population has increased by 1.2 million. So, yes, lads, we're winning.
Jesus, man, this is really something, Hirsch. And in my own gosh darn home. I think I'd like you to leave now.
Hold him! Nazi! Stop him! Stop him! Nazi! What's going on? Daddy? Stop him! Dad? Nazi!
What are you doing? What is happening? This is him! No!
30 years of work, that was. An entire life built. Marrying that American pig, siring 3 tainted swine. How long I'd wanted to snap their little necks. Where their blood is on your hands, my girl. Leave it to the Jew to think only of its own pathetic existence. Du hast gedacht, der Krieg ist vorbei. Nein, Liebes. Nur die Toten kennen das Ende des Krieges. Wir sind hier, jetzt, überall.
We survived. And we'll survive again.
You didn't survive. You marinated. I'm so glad I didn't gas you in the camps. This is so much more delicious. And what a hungry boy I've been. What hungry boys and girls we've all been. Heil, mein Führer. Sieg Heil!
So my question is regarding social conservatism. So homosexuality was once condemned and disavowed by the conservative movement and in society in general not 10 years ago. Now it is accepted and promoted in the conservative movement and encouraged in society. My question is, with the way conservative movement is trending, when do you think the time will come that social conservatism is left behind by the conservative movement? And if not, where should we draw the line to stop accepting things like transgenders, drag queens, and things of that nature?
Well, it's a very good question, because the flaw in your question is you're talking about the conservative movement as though it's one thing. And it's not, and it never has been. So the conservative movement, such as it is undergoing a big change right now in the post-Cold War, now Trump era. But let's just look at the more recent one, you know, the first one in modern history, the post-war conservative movement. Bill Buckley, National Review. The brilliance of Bill Buckley was not that he united a bunch of people who all agreed on everything and then they won a bunch of elections and Ronald Reagan became president. It's that he formed a coalition. So he formed a coalition of economic libertarians, a coalition of social conservatives, religious conservatives who opposed the Soviet Union, and foreign policy hawks. Right? These people disagreed on one another in a great many ways, but they united because they all hated the USSR. The economic conservatives, or the economic libertarians, because of the collectivism, the social conservatives because of the atheism, and the foreign policy hawks because of the imperialist ambitions. They all disagreed. That movement went into flux. That movement after the Cold War stopped making a lot of sense. They didn't have as much in common. They didn't have a common enemy. Now, probably, the common enemy that we're talking about is the woke culture. You bring up the issue of sexual preference, homosexuality, transgenderism, even gender theory. So you've got this conservative movement, or whatever it is, anti-left movement, that has people who are trad Catholics and homosexual atheists. You say, what on earth could unite these people? What appears to have united them is this anti-woke culture, anti-censorship, anti-political correctness, anti-deplatforming, anti all of these issues that we see the left doing to every single one of us.